Nigga! What's up, this your boy Super Mario 1990 coming at you with a spoiler-free Hitman 3 review, and let's just get straight to it. So if you played the first two games of this Origin Hitman series, you'll find that it's the same formula here in this final installment, which wraps up the World of Assassination trilogy. Now with that being said, it's not a bad thing here. You still get 6 locations with targets to eliminate and a bunch of different ways to get the job done while you try and make a clean escape. Even though the formula is the same here, everything still manages to be better on every aspect in this trilogy. This has the best level design for each mission, well other than one mission where you're trying to eliminate a man on a train while trying to pass by a ton of goons. The train is a basic design, but the level sort of reminded me of Siphon Filters 1 and 2 and some of the Uncharted train levels. It's the most straightforward mission, but it has the best payoff in the story's narrative. And speaking of story, Hitman 3 improves upon that as well. Even though the cutscenes are still the same format as the previous two games, where you get one for the briefing, some more info right before you start a mission, and then the cutscene after you complete a mission, as far as the length goes with the story's cutscenes, I'd say it's on par with the first two games. It's just the development of the story and how it has progressed that makes this campaign stand out the most. You become more emotionally invested in this one, and it ties the World of Assassination trilogy together and wraps it up nicely at the end. Now this is not one of the best story narratives of all time, but for what this Hitman trilogy is and what it has offered, it's still pretty good. Now I'm playing on a base PS4 and graphic wise the game looked pretty good as usual. I've heard that the game is really great visually, and I'm sure that's probably in 4K and on next gen, and I would assume those people aren't lying. But for my setup, it looked no different from the previous two Hitman titles of this series, and that's not a bad thing at all. But I will say though that when you are in the neon lit streets of Chongqing, China, that is when this game truly shines visually. As for the missions, they are the same as you set up the weapons and equipment you want to carry with you, what you want stashed, and where you want to start. Now of course on first playthrough, these options will be limited, but as you complete more challenges for each mission, the more options you are given. You get story opportunities to take down your targets for most missions, and there are still a plethora of ways you can kill your enemies. Stealth and disguises are still the best approach, and it's still not a good idea to go in guns blazing. The weapons and gadgets are largely the same, and they only add a camera that I found myself using on 2 missions. Personally, my favorite missions were the one on the train that I mentioned earlier, and this one mission where you are in a club and there are a number of agents trying to kill you. You don't know who they are initially, so you have to kind of stalk each person that kind of seems suspicious and then take them out before they take you out. It provided something a little different as Agent 47 was the hunted as well as the hunter in this mission. Now if you've played any of the games in this trilogy, then you know they are not long on first playthrough. I'd say it took me about a little under 5 hours to complete the 6 mission campaign. But of course the longevity and replayability of this game comes from playing these missions again and again and trying to complete the different challenges, as well as finding new ways to kill your targets and explore what each location has to offer. Even though Hitman 3 excelled on every aspect from the previous titles in this series, I still give it an 8 out of 10 along with the rest of the World of Assassination titles in this franchise. They are all solid games to me. They provide a challenge that most types of games don't offer. You have to be patient, stealthy, and take advantage of opportunities to eliminate a target and complete an objective. Depending on your playstyle, it may not be everyone's cup of tea. I for one am not keen on stealthy games. But the joy in Hitman for me is when I do actually complete a mission or eliminate a target, it gives this satisfying sense of accomplishment. This is done well by the environment created and crafted in these games, as well as the budding commentary by Diana Burnwood, Agent 47's longtime handler and friend. Well, if you want to look at their strange work relationship that way. Whether you excel at stealth games like this or not, there is still fun to be had in this one, and I enjoyed myself and will definitely be joining Diana, Lucas Gray, and Olivia, taking the sticks as Agent 47 and killing my targets in as many different and exciting ways as possible. This is your voice Super Mario 1990. I'm out. Peace in.
There will always be people like us.
No one is untouchable.
It's good to be back.